Just when you thought you could turn your back and walk away, the dark cloud of human indignity follows you. You have no choice but to turn and look it in the eye. It's the sex offender hit list.
Cinnaminson Township, New Jersey. Police Chief William Obachowski announced the arrest of 27-year-old Sebastian Romero of Somerset, who faces multiple charges relating to child exploitation. Romero was apprehended on August 2nd at his home during a search warrant execution, which resulted in the seizure of multiple electronic devices. Romero was charged with first-degree production of child sexual abuse material, along with second-degree impairing the morals of a child, luring, and aggravated sexual extortion. Additional charges include third-degree possession of child sexual abuse material and obscenity to a minor. The investigation into Romero began last month following a report from the victim's family to the Cinnaminson Township Police Department. It was revealed that Romero engaged the underage male through an online gaming platform's chat room, where he initiated sexual conversations and exchanged electronic gift cards for nude photos and videos. Romero also made threatening statements toward the victim's family after a planned meeting did not occur. Following a detention hearing held today in Superior Court, Romero was denied release and remains in Burlington County Jail. The case is being prepared for presentation to a grand jury for possible indictment. Efforts are ongoing to protect the identity of the victim. From this Chomo. A pastor who led a generation of youth in Virginia has been charged with 19 counts of sexual abuse, including 10 counts of forcible sodomy and 8 counts of indecent liberties with a child while in a custodial role. David Lawrence Schneider of Farnham, Virginia, was also charged on August 9th with aggravated sexual battery, according to a press release by the Richmond County Sheriff's Office in Warsaw. Schneider had been lead pastor of Fairport Baptist Church in Reedville, Virginia, since October of 22. He's now being currently held with no bail and is scheduled to appear in court on Monday. Schneider attended Liberty University, studied youth ministry, and worked at the YMCA in Lynchburg, according to an ordination sermon preached on January 15th of last year at the church in Reedville. What a nice guy. See ya, Chomo. Georgia. A 32-year-old man accused of possessing and sharing multiple videos depicting child sexual abuse was arrested Friday night, according to the Hall County Sheriff's Office. Blake Lawrence Edwards, a 32-year-old, faces 108 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor, 2 of which were for sending the materials to others, according to deputies. He was taken into custody at his home and booked into the Hall County Jail. Investigators were alerted to Edwards' illegal activity back in March when he shared the videos on a peer-to-peer platform. Investigators searched through his home off of Walnut Grove Way on May 14th when the man wasn't home, finding 2 hard drives containing more than 100 videos. There is no evidence that the videos were produced locally, deputies said, but additional charges may be pending. Oregon. A 36-year-old Estacada man was arrested last month after a child predator sting in Sandy, and detectives are looking for any additional victims, police said on Friday. According to police, Richard Gibb Potter was arrested on July 19th after a multi-agency investigation in May. He faces charges that include second-degree online sexual corruption of a child and luring of a minor.
My mother told me there'd be days like this.
Wisconsin. A Racine County man was sentenced to prison on Tuesday, August 6th, after he pleaded guilty to child sexual assault. Following a plea deal, it's always a plea deal, isn't it? 23-year-old Seth Biening was convicted of repeated sexual assault of the same child, which means at least 3 violations of first-degree sexual assault. A first-degree child sex assault charge was also dismissed because of that plea deal. Biening was sentenced to 30 years in prison and 15 years of additional extended supervision. Additionally, he is ordered to register as a sex offender for life and comply with the sex offender registry. Racine County deputies questioned Biening on a complaint someone told them that they saw him sexually assaulting a minor. The criminal complaint said Biening initially denied that complaint, even blaming the minor as the aggressor. Eventually, the complaint said Biening admitted to sexually assaulting the child 4 times over the last few months, telling investigators he did so for sexual gratification and to educate the victim. Yeah, well, prison's gonna educate you. See ya, Chomo. A jury convicted a San Luis Obispo County man Thursday of sexually abusing 3 children over the course of a 3-year period. The county district attorney's office said that in a news release recently here. Craig Anthony Grunrow, a 57-year-old, was found guilty on all counts he was charged with, including 1 count of sexual intercourse with a child under the age of 10, and 10 counts of committing a lewd act on a child under the age of 14. The crimes occurred between August of 2018 and August of 2021 at Grunrow's home in the Heritage Ranch area of rural San Luis Obispo. The release said that 2 of the children were well known to Grunrow, and the 3rd has been invited to his home as a guest, according to that release. We admire the profound strength of 3 young survivors in disclosing these terrible crimes, and in describing to the jury what they endured at the hands of this sexual predator, District Attorney Dan Dow said in a release. The jury also found that Grunrow committed lewd acts on multiple victims under the age of 14, a special allegation that can impose a 25 to life sentence for each one of these offenses. In total, Grunrow faces a maximum of 250 years to life in prison. Well, 250 years is more than life. We're going to find out because the sentencing will take place on March 30th, and you can guarantee you'll find it right here on the sex offender hit list. See ya, Chomo. The Peoria Police Department arrested 38-year-old Steven Ashana on 27 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor, possession, recording, and distribution, 4 counts of molestation of a child, 3 counts of furnishing harmful items to minors, and 2 counts of endangerment. Charges may be added or amended as this is an ongoing investigation also. And it began on July 26 when Peoria Human Exploitation and Trafficking Unit detectives were contacted by the Phoenix Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force. Thorough information was received and it was learned Ashana was in possession of several images and videos believed to contain child sexual abuse material. Ashana was taken into custody without incident and was processed and later booked on several felony charges into the Maricopa County Intake and Release. During this investigation, a search warrant was conducted at his residence, which located several different electronic devices with said material on them. See ya, Chomo. Now over to Oklahoma. A Pottawatomie County man will spend the rest of his life in prison after pleading guilty to multiple child sex charges. According to the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children received a cyber tip on March 7th of last year about suspected child sexual abuse material. The information was then given to the OSBI Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force, and ICAC was able to identify 24-year-old Chance Ballard as the suspect. Ballard was interviewed and admitted to downloading and possessing child sexual abuse material on multiple online accounts, as well as selling child sexual abuse material. Investigators determined Ballard previously had physical contact with several victims as well. He was arrested and booked on the following charges: distribution of obscene material, aggravated possession of child sexual abuse material, first-degree rape, soliciting sexual conduct or communication with a minor by use of technology. On Wednesday, Ballard pled guilty and was sentenced to life by the Pottawatomie County District Court. I hope I said that name right. See ya, Chomo.
I'm gonna give you solitary confinement for 99 years.
And now we have a religious leader. He doesn't look like one. He looks like a nutcase to me. But he's a leader of a shamanistic community in Southern California. He was charged with rape, child sexual abuse, and other sex crimes after multiple victims came forward. 59-year-old Ricardo Flores was accused by multiple alleged survivors of sexual assault on August 1st, according to the Riverside County Sheriff's Office. Flores is the religious leader of a shamanistic community at various locations throughout the county. According to authorities, he resides in Moreno Valley, which is it's about an hour outside of Los Angeles there. Investigators arrested Flores at 8:30 in the morning on August 7th as he was returning to the United States from Mexico. He was later booked at the Robert Presley Detention Center and faces 5 felony charges of rape by force or fear, aggravated sexual assault, lewd acts with a minor, and continuous sexual abuse of a child under 14. Investigators believe there may be additional victims, and they're encouraging anyone with more information to contact the Moreno Valley Sheriff Station lead investigator. Shamanism, if you didn't know, is defined as a religion practiced by indigenous peoples of far northern Europe and Siberia. It's characterized by belief in an unseen world of gods and demons and ancestral spirits, responsive only to the shamans. That's according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, by the way. The Sheriff's Department did not elaborate on which specific shamanistic community that he leads. Well, see ya, you shamanistic chomo. The Stanislaus County Sheriff's Department Special Victims Unit conducted an online underage chatting operation dubbed Operation Safe House from August 2nd to August 3rd. Detectives posed as minors ranging from ages 13 to 15 years old on various social media and dating platforms. Detectives were ultimately contacted and then solicited for various illicit acts by the soon would-be suspects. A meeting location in Stanislaus County was given, and the suspects were taken into custody upon their arrival. Each suspect was booked into the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Public Safety Center. During the operation, 14 adult males were arrested for various child-related sex crimes, including contacting a minor with intent to commit a sex act, attempted production of child sexual abuse material, attempted oral copulation, and attempted sexual contact with a minor. This is just one day, and they net 14 of them. That's awesome. Suspects were found to be residents of Modesto, Ceres, Salida, Lodi, Lathrop, Atwater, and as far away as Sacramento and Chowchilla. See ya, chomos. After investigating a complaint, Bullock County Sheriff's deputies arrested a man Wednesday on charges of child molestation and child sexual abuse material. This is 24-year-old Joshua Champion of Railroad Junction Mobile Home Park, and he's being charged with enticing a child for indecent purposes, child molestation, and sexual exploitation of children, said Bullock County Sheriff's investigator Bill Black, who's handling the case. A complainant contacted the Sheriff's Department to report that Champion molested a 6-year-old girl related to him by marriage. A search warrant resulted in deputies seizing his laptop computer after someone gave them a tip that he was viewing child sexual abuse material on it. And so they took that, and as well as his cell phone. The computer was turned over to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Black said Champion's being held with no bond at the Bullock County Jail, being held on a probation violation charge while they investigate other things. Champion has a criminal history including several felony violations and has probation violation charges in 3 different counties. None of the violations include sexual crimes against children except the current one for this chomo.
How you doing, Justin? Hold on 1 second. I'm alright.
What's this for?
We need to have a talk, Justin. Hi, how you doing, Justin?
I'm good.
You wondering why I'm here, right?
No?
No? It's not you, Justin?
Yeah.
Yeah? So you want to explain who you was talking to?
It was just, yeah, I was
Who you was talking to? You was talking to multiple kids. Who you was talking to?
two.
Two? Do you remember their names?
One was Zoe and Victoria.
Okay, how old were they?
13 and 10.
13 and 10.
That's what they told me.
That's what they told you. You can sit down. I mean, I'm not here to do anything harm, bro.
But
At
I
all.
didn't do anything.
Look, we'll talk about that. I know they're not here, so you can't do nothing to them. It's me. My name is FM, by the way. You Justin, right? So you acknowledge that you've been talking to these little girls online. Today, you were supposed to meet up with who?
Victoria.
How old is Victoria? 10 years old, right? And what happened today?
I just, well, I stayed home. I didn't even bother to go.
Why did you flake? This is not the first time you did this.
But I didn't even.
No, I'm just saying, but
even when I said like I would come and see them in the city, and I didn't even do that either. I stayed because I knew something was up, and that's why I didn't go.
what you thought was up, though? Like, if you knew something was up, right? Hear me out. Remember the first kid you were supposed to meet up with?
Yeah, Zoe was the
Zoe, right? What was her name?
Zoe.
Zoe, so don't be nervous. I'm here. We're having a civil conversation. I know you're nervous. Your head is spinning. I want you to just.
I've seen these on
You're seeing it, okay?
TikTok, so I know.
You know, okay. So no one is.
And that's why I knew I knew something was up. That's why I didn't even bother to do.
But it's still illegal, though.
I know it is.
The way you was talking is kind of disgusting. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
10 years old? 10 years old. Come on, Justin. How old are you?
43.
40?
43.
43? What do you do for a living, Justin, if you don't mind me asking?
Nursing assistant.
Nurse assistant? For a company or private hospital?
Yeah.
Which hospital is this?
The store.
No. Again, just want to talk about what you were saying and why. I mean, how long have you been having these compulsions?
This just started up with them.
Right.
I've never had
No, okay, it's all right.
anything like that. I've never done this
Oh,
fucking
about-
kind of stuff before.
Right.
Or anything like that. This just
I'm just asking, how long have you been feeling attracted to minors, to kids?
nope. Never.
Never,
Like,
but this is your
like
first
the
time since last year?
Yeah. Never.
Never, but something happened. But
And I got into the.
So-
I know I said some sexual things like that. I didn't say sex like we would have sex. It was more of like she didn't know what blowjobs were. I was trying to explain that and stuff like that. I knew,
right, no,
you know.
I understand, Justin.
I left it. I left that at that. Then I blocked the you and blocked her and Zoe. I blocked her. Then I unblocked.
You unblocked him because you were scared. I get that.
Okay. I was just bored and I just started talking. I mean, I'm single for 3 years, so I just kind of just started talking. Yeah. I know the stuff I said I shouldn't have said to a 13 and 10-year-old, but yeah. I was just bored and was just looking for friends to talk to.
Like, when 1 o'clock came,
I canceled it even.
I know I'm just saying, but when 1 o'clock came, your brain acted differently.
Yeah.
Like, damn, it was like, should I go? Should I not go?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You can talk to me. How are you doing? This is Justin. My name is FM. I run an organization, a group that catches online pedophiles.
Alright.
And Justin out here today came. He wanted to have sexual relations with what he thought was a 10-year-old little girl today. He got spooked, but I was still on my way. Confessed to everything from individuals sending him CP to his phone to wanted to have sexual relations with a 10-year-old. There's no real 10-year-old. There's no real 10-year-old. This is some of the chat logs. Hard drive, I could just send you whatever. You know? I'm gonna step to the side, let you handle your business.
Now get in there!
A man who sexually assaulted a child has been charged again after he was spotted walking around naked in South Annville Township. Western Lebanon County Regional Police Department announced this on Friday. Nestor Peraza, a 24-year-old of Annville, was seen by locals walking around naked in the 900 block of Royal Road in Annville around 7:44 a.m. on July 28th. Officers arrived to the area to find the 5'5" tall, 175-pound man not wearing any clothes as he walked through private property. Well, he was soon identified and EMS was summoned to the scene, and Peraza was transported to a hospital for further evaluation. On July 31st, a criminal complaint was filed charging Peraza with misdemeanor open lewdness and misdemeanor disorderly conduct. Peraza had been a registered sex offender since December of 2020, when he pleaded guilty in a negotiated plea deal in connection with the sexual assault of a child in 2018. He served 567 days in prison for that one, followed by probation for felony corruption of minors, felony endangering the welfare of children, and misdemeanor indecent assault of a person less than 16 years old. Missouri. A Richmond man is behind bars after months of failing to register as a sex offender, but not before an attempt to resist arrest charge was tacked onto his case. Ray County, Missouri Circuit Court records reveal that on Friday, August 9th, Ronald E. Tanner, a 54-year-old, was charged with failure to register as a sex offender and resisting arrest following a recent incident. Around 11:45 in the morning on Thursday, the Ray County Sheriff's Office received information a tip had been made about a non-compliant sex offender. The sex offender in question, was later found out to be Tanner, had been bragging about his failure to register and that he had warrants out for his arrest. Tanner was known to stay at the Rose Court Motel, and when investigators found him, he had been reluctant to come outside. He finally stepped out and was told to put his hands behind his back. Well, he attempted to grab the door, and he told them he had to make a phone call trying to shut the door on him. Deputies said they further restrained Tanner as he began to resist, and he slid down the door frame, which caused the door to his room to open up, and he continued to resist until the group fell into a barbecue grill next to the table in the parking lot. Well, he was eventually cuffed and stuffed into a patrol vehicle. Court documents reveal that Tanner had been convicted of sexual misconduct involving a child back in July of 2009. He's required to register every 90 days. However, the last time he registered was September of last year. As of Saturday, Tanner remains behind bars in Ray County on a $10,000 bond. No court appearances have yet been set. We'll head over to North Carolina. A soccer coach has been arrested again, but this time his sexual assault charges involve an adult, according to the Lincoln County Sheriff's Office. Yeah, his last ones involved children. On May 15th, deputies dispatched to a call concerning the sexual assault of a minor. Following the investigation, Maxwell Sidney Fletcher, a 30-year-old of Mount Holly, was arrested in Gaffney, South Carolina on May 17th. At the time of his arrest, Lincoln County officials said Fletcher held positions as both a teacher and coach at W.C. Friday Middle School in Dallas, which is part of the Gaston County school system. He also previously served as a coach within the Lincoln County school system. Fletcher waived his extradition from South Carolina and was booked into the Lincoln County jail. He has reportedly served with outstanding warrants from Catawba County for second-degree kidnapping and indecent liberties, amongst other charges. Fletcher worked as an assistant coach for the men's soccer team at East Lincoln High School in the fall of last year. He's no longer associated with Lincoln County schools. He also coached for the Dry Pond Travel Baseball League, based out of Denver, North Carolina. Officials say during this investigation, they became aware of another sexual assault allegedly committed by Fletcher involving an adult. This resulted in Fletcher being arrested again on July 31st and charged with felony crimes against nature and felony second-degree forcible sex offense. He's being held at the Lincoln County Detention Center under a $100,000 secured bond. See ya, you triangle-headed shaped chomo. A West Covina man was arrested this week after law enforcement officials discovered hundreds of child sexual abuse material images. Matthew Mullen, a 39-year-old, was arrested Thursday, August 8th, following a joint investigation involving the West Covina and LA police departments, as well as Homeland Security investigations. He was booked on suspicion of possession of child sexual abuse material and is being held with no bail. Investigators found he had more than 600 obscene images and materials depicting minors in sexual acts. Due to Mullen's volunteer efforts in local organizations, investigators believe there may be additional victims. Well, we know that is the case here. It's unclear where the photos came from or which organizations Mullen had volunteered for. As far as news-wise, I'm sure the police know, though.
Let me out of here! Let me out of here!
Law enforcement is searching for a former Greenwood man recently convicted of a sex crime. 37-year-old David Bailey is at large after failing to appear in court. He was convicted of sexual misconduct with a minor as a level 4 felony by a jury on Wednesday and faces up to 12 years in prison. The investigation conducted by the Greenwood Police Department began 2 years earlier in August of 22 after Bailey was reported to have sexually abused a child from 2019 until 2021. Evidence was presented by the Johnson County Prosecutor's Office on Wednesday, and the jurors found Bailey guilty as charged, get this, after only 37 minutes of deliberations. Bailey failed to appear in court for the trial, and a no-bond warrant was issued by Johnson Superior Court 3rd Judge Douglas Cummins. Bailey is not believed to be armed, but as an at-large convicted felon, he should be approached only by law enforcement officers. California. A 72-year-old Oroville man was arrested after allegedly contacting a minor for the purpose of committing sexual crimes, according to the Butte County Sheriff's Office. On August 1st, the Butte County Sheriff's Office received information that 72-year-old Eldon McElhenney of Oroville there had contacted a 14-year-old victim with the intent to commit sexual crimes. Deputies and detectives conducted an investigation and discovered that McElhenney was required to register as a sex offender due to his previous convictions in Oregon. During the investigation, detectives found evidence suggesting that McElhenney had moved to California and failed to register there. They also uncovered evidence that he had contacted the 14-year-old victim for the purpose of committing sexual crimes. On August 2nd, deputies and detectives arrested him at his residence in the 2600 block of Forest View Drive, Oroville. He was booked at the Butte County Jail on charges of failing to register as a sex offender in California and contacting a minor for the purpose of committing sexual crimes. So it's 1970 glasses that gave him away, let me tell you. See ya, Chomo. A new felony charge of failing to register as a sex offender has been filed against a Lawndale man who already faced a similar pending charge in connection with a second incident last year. The state trooper pulled over Ronald E. McKinnon the morning of December 3rd of last year in Vila Ridge after running a check on a Chevy truck he was driving and found the registration instead matched a Honda passenger vehicle. In speaking to the trooper at the Mr. Fuel gas station, McKinnon provided an old insurance card from the truck's previous owner. The trooper also found McKinnon's Missouri driver's license had expired in 2014, and he had no license in any other state. McKinnon is a registered sex offender, convicted of 2 offenses involving a victim younger than 13 years old in Iowa back in 2015, according to the Missouri State Highway Patrol Sex Offender Registry. He was on probation for a sex offender registration violation at the same time he got pulled over by this cop here. While looking through his registry, I noticed he had no vehicles registered, the trooper noted in the statement. I asked him how long he had these Chevy, and he stated about a week. He also said he had not informed anyone to have it added to his registry. McKinnon, born in 1964, was arrested for several misdemeanor warrants following the December 23 traffic stop. He was already facing a felony charge at the time of being a sex offender physically present or loitering within 500 feet of a park, playground, pool, or museum, stemming from an incident in January of last year.
I'd like to know what dirty stool pigeon squealed on me.
One for a rainbow, one for Amanda.
Who you playing with, sweetie?
Amanda.
Oh, who are you?
I'm Amanda. I'm 6. And I love unicorns.
Sexual predators are seeking kids online.
We don't know Amanda.
Learn how to report abuse at n-violence.org/protect.
When a child experiences trauma, they can be stripped of their ability to imagine. But imagination is colors. All the colors. Imagination is freedom. And whatever you want it to be. But a child without imagination is not a child at all. Will you help defend our right to imagine?